intersection of business and politics, politics always wins. It certainly did in this case, in the government's refusal to allow an American defense firm to take over our high-tech space company, MDA. We're joined by the Minister of Industry, Jim Prentice. Mr. Prentice.
Afternoon, Craig.
Afternoon. You are going to have to meeting, I would think, anytime soon, very soon, I'm told, with the American company that wants to buy MDA. How can you possibly back off this decision when you've gotten so many plaudits for it and you put it in such a strong context of Canada First economics?
Well, it is, of course, Craig, an important decision, and we have stood up for Canada. There will be meetings in the days ahead, and initially with our officials. The decision that has been made is, of course, made under the Investment Canada Act as a preliminary decision, followed by a period of minimum of 30 days to
You're trying to be very legalistic here, but I'm trying to hit the politics of this. You can't possibly back off this now. You've taken such a bold assertion here of Canadian sovereignty.
Well, it is an important decision, and it relates at the heart of it to RadarSat-2, the Earth observation satellite, which is one of the most remarkable pieces of technology in the air. But in terms of the decision itself, it is a preliminary finding, and we are required under the Investment Canada Act to sit down with the investor and pursue it and discuss it. And I respect the integrity of that act and that process.
All right. If this decision of yours goes ahead, people are worried that this company, MDA, will be marooned. Its thousands of employees won't be able to get American defense contracts. How much money are you willing to put up? What kind of job guarantees are you going to give these people that they're going to have work in the space industry that the Canadian government can give them?
Well, several aspects of this. Firstly, MDA has been a very successful company. I have enormous respect for what they have accomplished. They have achieved those accomplishments in Canada as a leading contractor on all of our accomplishments in space. I gave a speech at the Canadian Space Agency on Friday where I set down some markers and talked about how we're going to continue to pursue excellence in space. We have developed a remarkable history, and we have a remarkable future, whether you're speaking of Earth observation satellites or robotics or the other things that we've excelled at. And I think that MDA will be an important part of that future. Okay,
well, that's certainly one hint that the money will be there. I guess I'd like to get more than that out of you. MDA is planning this so-called fleet of small satellites. It's really very high-tech and in the very frontiers, called Constellation. It's going to cost $200 or $300 million to build. You've already given them a little money to research it. Are you going to press ahead with that? Are you looking seriously at pressing ahead with that?
Well, that of course, Craig, is under review now, but you make an excellent point, and that's that you can go right back to the first Canadian satellite, Alouette, in 1962, right through to RadarSat-2, which is, of course, at the heart of this transaction. And we've excelled at both communication and Earth observation satellites. The next generation after RadarSat-2 consists of the Constellation series, 3 smaller satellites. And that is under review at the Space Agency right now, and we'll be making decisions.
Okay, it sounds like you're supporting that idea. Finally, is this decision have a broader context in terms of economic nationalism? Are you going to extend this concept to other industries? In other words, efforts to take over major parts of our oil industry and other prized industries in Canada? Are we entering a new era because nobody has ever turned down a foreign takeover before? Yes or no? Is this a new policy we've begun?
Well, the decision that's been made is an important part of standing up for Canada, and that is what this government does. That's what this Prime Minister believes. That's what we do as a government. This decision, I think it's important to note, reflects pretty unique circumstances. This is an Earth observation satellite, RadarSat-2, developed in partnership with the Canadian government, launched under Canadian law that was the subject of a proposed sale to another country, thereby subject to another country's legal system. So this is a pretty unique circumstance. I have, however, in the past said that we will apply the Investment Canada Act rigorously to ensure that benefits to Canada are secured. That's what the law requires. That's what this government will do.
Minister Jim Prentice, out there in Calgary, thanks very much for joining us this afternoon. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Craig.
Coming up on Question Period, Jane speaks to House leaders.